Okay, everybody, let's get started. Anybody have any questions? Questions? Yes? Take home? Mm-hmm. Yeah. The take home, okay, everybody, and the take home will be over the weekend or whatever. I have no idea what the questions will be. They're sort of open-ended questions. So you can look stuff up. The take-home is not going to be list of 3 this or list of 3 that. Like I said, last year I asked about castor beans and umbrellas, what they have in common. And that's the poison ricin that was used to kill a guy. It won't be hard to find these things out. And I encourage you to talk to each other because I think it's sort of stupid to give you a take-home exam and tell you not to talk to anybody because you're going to anyway. But of course, write your own answers, and remember, there's all sorts of ways of telling whether, what percent of your answer is yours or someone else's. And I will you guys will have a choice on the days for the exam, and I will set that later today because there's a couple days I may need to be gone, and so I'll put those down as choices. So you'll have the in-class, you'll have the multiple choice, and you should have the 2 sets of practice exams now. But I would really I always admonish you not to study the practice exams. I do not go back and look at them when I make an exam out. So some of the questions will be the same. I mean, that's just, the way, there's only so many ways you can ask some things, As you can see, I can ask a lot of different things with multiple choice answers. So I can give you a graph that has nothing to do with plant physiology, but I would expect you to be able to interpret the data. The quizzes will always be the day before a class. There's a lot of studies to show that if you get quick feedback, then you tend to retain the knowledge. And the best thing you can actually do is to give the quiz and then actually grade it in class. You can, get a Scantron grader that you can grade it, but we're not going to do that. And then the exams will always be on the day of class, and there will not be class that day. Okay? Don't study. I'm always torn about giving out old exams because people tend to study the old exams. And the online format, the favorite kind of question I have is where I give you a series of choices, A through E, and then I give you a series of statements. So it's sort of multiple choice, but there's only one set of answers and then a series of questions. And that's been shown that if you know the material, then you tend to do those much faster. So I'm going to do the same thing on the online exam, except everything's going to be multiple choice, okay? So you'll have a series of questions about topic. You'll have a series of choices like experimental design, control, whatever, and then a series of statements, except each one of those will be a multiple choice. There'll be graphs on the exam, it'll be similar to what I sent out. Studying, the best thing you can do is study as a group. If you have somebody you know that you can study together, as long as it's not your friend who could be really dumb. Try to always study with someone smarter than you are. And if you can explain things, so this is what I tell graduate students, what do you do? Well, what's an experiment? Okay, then you answer what is an experiment. From that, then you ask the next question. Then you answer it, then you ask the next question. So when a grad student has their exam, that's the way it works. You just throw out, okay, name me a hormone. Okay, gibberellic acid. Okay, what does gibberellic acid do? Well, it causes stem elongation. Well, how does it cause stem elongation? So you just keep asking questions and answering it. And if you can explain it, then you should have a fairly good grasp of the material. Okay? Last thing, if I don't talk about it in class or give it to you as an assignment, then you really don't need to worry about it. And I always have students that will come up after an exam and said, but I studied this from the book, and I just have told you several times, don't worry about that. There are assignments that I'll give you. The topics we're covering this week, there are some pages from the book, and then there are also a couple of chapters from another Plant Phys book that I put up for you guys to look at. Again, that's just sort of material that can help you. You don't have to know everything that's in the handouts or in those chapters, okay? It's just that this book does not do a great job of covering the topics we're covering this week, which is enzymes and a just very brief overview of enzymes and molecular biology. Any questions? Any more questions? I'm sorry? Oh, I don't know if we may not get through enzymes by Friday. I don't know. It just depends. The exam material will be will be determined on where we are, but we're not. You're not. It depends on when you decide to have the exam. Okay. Water relations may be on the first exam. It may not be. It goes back and forth from year to year, and I move things around sometimes too. Okay. So you'll know plenty ahead of time. You guys will have a poll for when you want the exam. You'll know way before quizzes. You'll know way before exams when the dates will be. Okay. First help session will be sometime after Friday on Wednesday. Do you see the results of the poll? Or has anybody gone back and looked? I think you should. It was like 40% for Wednesday and 30% for Sunday afternoon. So I'll probably do one on Sunday afternoon. That's going to be more online. And then everything that I do will be cast through on YouTube at the same time that it is in class. Okay, it's just that I can't do that with the university machine, so I'm going to have to set up my own machine. Probably we'll meet upstairs in the conference room. Yes, sir.
With the live test stuff, you can still go back and view it after.
Yeah, it's a Google Hangouts on Air is just a Google Hangout that is loaded up to YouTube when you're finished. So, yeah, everything that we do will be either that or it will be copied. This program I'm using, by the way, it's free for up to 15 minutes of recorded video. So I have students in the past that'll use this program and say, I don't understand this, and show me a graph and then send me a video. So a lot of times when you ask me a question, I send you a video back because that's actually quicker and easier than writing, out answers unless they're very specific. Oh, another thing, do not ask me a question that's on the exam. Don't ask me the answer for any of these questions. Okay? When you come, I will not have a help session the day before the exam. I will do help sessions 2 days before, but not the night before. That's too late. And I only answer questions, and I don't answer questions like, would you go over everything that you've talked about since the first lecture? So I expect you to come with questions, which means you've read the material and you have questions, and not that, you're just... And then some people come because they just want to listen to questions. That's fine, too. But don't ask me what's the answer to question 22.